Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, see that's a joke. If you're an IT there or a business owner, reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase with Picatinny rail adapters to mount it to any standard AR-15, like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more and see me shooting a flamethrower. And lastly, trying to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part podcast, you have Nissan outselling the Supra by leaps and bounds. This is brought to us thanks to Adrian over at Motor1.com. They say, quote, the Nissan Z is crushing the Toyota Supra in sales. That being said, the Ford Mustang is 4 times more popular than the Z and Supra combined. Which, fair to say, the Mustang did win the pony war, since new Dodge Charger is an EV and the new Camaro doesn't exist from Chevrolet. Here you can see the juxtaposition of two pictures, the Nissan Z as well as the Toyota Supra. Nissan Z being famous for really being the only Nissan worth owning these days. Granted, it's a pretty low bar, not many things good to choose from. And Adrian says, quote, the Nissan Z got off to a slow start, partially due to production delays and supply chain disruptions caused by the microchip shortage. Either markups didn't help either. But that's all in the past. In 2025, the rear-wheel drive coupe is performing better than ever. Demand has more than doubled in the first quarter, surging 108% to 1,635 units for the first half of the year. Deliveries also jumped by 160.1% to 3,789 cars. Meanwhile, the Toyota Supra is having a much tougher year. The BMW engineered sports car racked up 1,231 sales in the first 6 months of 2025. That number represents a 17.7% drop compared to the January to June same period in 2024. They say, yes, the Z is outselling the Supra by a 3-to-1 margin. Looking ahead, Nissan won't have to worry much about the Supra since, well, that's going away. There you can see the neat-looking Supra, which, yeah, I believe... Yeah, it's over in Amsterdam. It's actually one of those OEM things where BMW outsourced it to someone else to manufacture. Again, BMW did some designing stuff, but the actual manufacture of this is not in a BMW facility. And then, Toyota said, hey, that looks good. Can we copy that homework? They said, yeah, but don't be too obvious. So they changed the body, and to Toyota's, to their credit, they did make a stick shift for the vehicle, which I appreciate. They say that Toyota is pulling the plug after the 2026 model year, with a final edition limiting to 1,300 units. However, a 6th generation model is already underway and in the works, so the gap between the generations is likely to be shorter than before. Enthusiasts in the US certainly won't have to wait another 2 decades like that between the Mark IV and Mark V Supras. While the Z and Supra continue to lock horns, the Ford Mustang remains far ahead. Despite a 14.2% sales decline through June, the pony car still tallied 23,551 sales, more than 4 times the combined total of the Z and Supra. They also say we haven't forgotten about the Nissan's other performance cars, car, singular, the GTR. Only 37 units were sold in the first half of the year, down 75.5%. That's hardly surprising, as US production ended last October after the final Skyline Edition and Takumi Edition models. Japan closed its order books in late February, signaling the end of the R35. The new GTR is planned, but it won't arrive anytime soon. If the radical Hyperforce concept is any indication, it may be fully electric, which, yeah, let's just say, no, I don't think any enthusiast is looking forward to that. And it is funny. Now, again, anecdotally, in Texas, I've seen I've seen 3 Nissan Zs in the past 3 years, one of which was collecting copious amounts of dust on a dealership parking lot, partially because of the dealer markup. The other one was in a grocery store parking lot, and the third was actually on the road being driven. So it's kind of funny. Now, again, there's a little bit perhaps of a sample size bias because Texas is also the headquarters of Toyota North America. And I can't help but think a lot of Toyota employees get, a lot of them get some nice little employee discounts. Many of them buy it for themselves. So I do wonder of all the Supras out there, how many of them are actually owned by Toyota employees or friends and family of Toyota employees. So I think that could be a contributing factor of why, anecdotally, I'm seeing much more Supras compared to the Z. And it's sad that, the Supra is going away, but hopefully maybe the next one will actually be made by Toyota. I always thought it was kind of funny. I don't think anyone has ever said, you know what? I love the reliability. I want Toyota, but less reliable. That's Because again, this is a BMW with a Toyota body kit on it and a little bit more engineering. So it is also sad that again Nissan is still crashing. These sales don't help the company at all move the needle sales wise. But it's cool to see them having a dedicated sports car. As far as I know, it's the only sports car you can get right now that has a handbrake where you actually yank it up. It's not those little boring anemic little clicky click buttons like the Windows. And again, it's got manual transmission. I believe it's one of 2 cars in the United States where you can get a stick shift twin turbo V6. The other one being the Cadillac CT4V Blackwing. It's kind of sad to think. I think those are the only 2 left in the United States in terms of a twin turbo stick shift V6. If you can think of any other ones, let me know. I mean, the BMW is awesome. Oh, I should say BMW. Yeah, Toyota over here, the Supra. But again, that's a straight 6, since it thankfully does come with the 6-shift option now. Didn't when the Supra first came out, the Mark V first came out. But it is kind of funny to see these articles time and time again. Nissan is outselling, the Nissan Z is outselling the Toyota Supra, and yet you just don't see them. At least I haven't. So I'm curious, depending on where you are, I'd be curious to see, is this just can you just not turn your head without seeing one of these in different towns, different cities, different states? Let me know. Have you ever actually seen a Nissan Z being driven on the road? And do you see more of them than the Supra? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so you can click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comments. Great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.